Well, hello, and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up, the podcast about super teams and team-ups. But this is episode 3 of My Legion Adventure, and we will be delving into, as we have for the last 3 weeks, and continuing. We're going Legion of Superhero Stories in chronological order, and this week I had the pleasure to read Action Comics 267, cover date August 1960. And that story is, and we'll be reading Supergirl and the Three Superheroes, written by Jerry Siegel, penciled and inked by Jim Moonely, letters by Joe Lederos, and editor Mort Weisinger. And this is the story where Supergirl joins the Legion of Superheroes, kinda. So, quick synopsis. Supergirl's on a trip from her orphanage to see Superman on stage doing feats and show off his powers. Something goes wrong when it's there, and she goes to investigate. She's confronted by these teens who reveal themselves to be Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, and Saturn Girl, members of the Legion of Superheroes. And it's basically the same plot as Superboy's one. She goes to do something, and a mysterious teen saves the day. They tell her that they are not the original, but they are the descendants. That gets super retcon quick because I always forget that, and I reread this story and I go, "Oh, that's not anything that I remember as a kid." So we are also in it. She's invited to come and try out for the team, where she and her fellow applicants. Chameleon Boy, his first appearance. Invisible Kid 1, Lyle Nork, his first appearance. And Colossal Boy, Gim Allen, their first appearance. I was happy to see, we finally get to see more Legionnaires. And we'll find out in the next Supergirl story that these gentlemen were not the next ones joined. We'll find out there were people who had joined before. And I mean, it keeps hinting in these pictures that there are lots of members, and we see in the future, they go, "Oh, this is where Superboy joined, and this is when the Phantom Girl, Dual Damsel, Triplicate Girl at that point, and other members had joined before him, including, I think, Supergirl." God, it's been so long. See, that's why I'm enjoying this read through, because I get to read the Legion comics, so win-win. So they go for the audition. They all do their feats of action. She tries to build a tunnel through the earth to create a new expressway for traffic. I always look at the panel like, isn't that piece of the earth just going to fly off into space? But it is what it is. But she's exposed to red kryptonite and is now a full-grown woman temporarily. But she's now past the age limit of the Legion, and she can't join. And off she flies in her merry adventure. It is, as the first two have been, and this is a backup, so it's relatively short, because Superman is the lead in action at this point. Eventually, Supergirl is the lead, or is she the lead in Adventure? In the 70s, there's some hopping around, and it's about the time I was reading a lot of these comics, like fresh off the rack, but I was really little, and they didn't stick. Overall, I enjoy this. It took me about 10 minutes to read. It's got that warmth of nostalgia, even though I wasn't born yet. It's the early. I'm really enjoying this time through, is that I'm looking at this era, which is never my favorite era, until it's the lead thing, or it is every issue of starting with issue 300 Adventure at every one, and there's some sense of continuity coming out. These jumping around ones have not always been my favorite. But it has been maybe 20 years since I've read most of them. So I'm looking forward to these. There's a Starboy one, which I will probably do as a longer version episode and have a guest on instead of one of these quickies, because I think it's amazing, and I'm going to kind of make that happen. But first thing I want to talk about is the art. I'm not the biggest Jim Mooney fan in the world. This is really good Jim Mooney, though. And I prefer his Supergirl in some ways than I would say the Swan Supergirl, which I love. And when we get to the Shooter Swan, or when Swan's a regular pencil on Legion, and you're seeing Superboy and Supergirl in it together and stuff like that. She's great. She looks amazing. It's a great. It's that Silver Age Supergirl, that kind of, I mean, really cliche, wholesome blonde thing that they did with, you know, it's just a trope, a way they looked, and it's a very, I don't know. That's 1960s. It's late 50s, early 60s. It's you know, they've changed Supergirl and tried to modernize her throughout history, and sometimes successfully and sometimes not. I have not read the latest one. I'm thinking that when all 8 issues on, I'm going to give it a read. I never read a Supergirl. I read like one Supergirl title regularly. The one she was in right before she went in, and it became the 3-boot, became Supergirl in the Legion of Superheroes. And I enjoyed that. The Peter David, I think it was Peter David? Yes, Peter David stuff. I did enjoy that. But this is good Jim Mooney. It very much looks like a romance comic in a way. It's drawn that way, but I think he just has it's very clean and very crisp. I like it because I think in most, more than I would in other Mooney stuff, is that he's inking himself. I've seen Vince Colletta ink him, and I'm like, ugh, rough. Because I think Mr. Colletta is better with certain people, and I think he doesn't help others. And I think Jim Mooney is one of those people that you really need to just follow his line. His pencil work is excellent, and it is so neat and crisp that it's quite lovely. It's well crafted. I will say that. But again, it is a creature of the time the story was created. So, does it hold up? Yeah, I think you could give it to a little kid and they'd enjoy it. I mean, but I think younger than it was originally intended for. You know, I think this would be a great comic for like a 6 or 7-year-old to turn them into, maybe to give somebody their first taste of superhero comic. It's really simple. It's light, nothing too complex. People with powers doing good things and being okay people. And it's just, that's what you should do. For kid comics, just have a nice story. Just a simple story. And I think that works a lot. And I think it works in this one. But I think it's the last of the really simplistic stories, but I don't know, because the next one's coming up. It's the Lex Luthor Superboy one. And I only think there's one Legionnaire in it. I think it's Lightning Lad. I don't know it. I don't remember it. It's next in the book. I saw it. It's like, have I read this? Well, you had to, because you've done a complete read. I did a complete read through at one point right before 0 Hour. That's how long ago. But I did just read every Legion for months. I just did a reread, and it was the only thing I read, and it was freaking amazing. I mean, I wish I had that much time on my hands. Eventually, I may retire. I don't know. But, this is on YouTube. I am, to be honest, folks, I am trying to monetize. I'm not asking for Patreon. I'm not asking for donations. I don't think my content warrants it, and I just want you to listen. But, I just want to kind of pay the $40 it does to post stuff for all my podcasts, and maybe along the way I'm going to learn some video editing. I did some 2 episodes posted that didn't post before. They're up. One was the wonderful interview with Jennifer DeRoss about JSA, and the other was I think it was Legion. It's been a rough week, folks, and I'm on a little break from work today, so I needed a little good clear my head podcasting, reading comics, something that really takes me away, and that's what I kind of want this podcast to be for you, so I hope you're enjoying it. But that was our story. The next episode will be coming up will be either a short episode, just me chatting about All-Star Comics 58 and 59 in the 70s when they came back. Beautiful. Or Marvel 2-in-1, number 1, with a guest. And that'll be a full length. That'll be a long episode. And I've got another guest coming up. We're going to be talking just an overview of Silver Age Legion and why we're Legion fans. I have a different guest for that one. And I hope to have more guests coming up. So, You can find me on Twitter at JSA4, the number 4, letter E, so JSA4E. Or you can find me at Stop. Just Google Stop Let's Team Up, and it'll take you to our Libsyn feed. We are on almost every type of every podcast form, and also on YouTube. So if you're listening to if you could anywhere on any of the podcasting service, please give me a review. Give me an honest review. I would hope, if I'm lucky, a couple of you really like it and give me a 5. But be honest, give a review. Let me know what you see. You can contact me best through Twitter, DM me, or, just mentioned. I am active on 3 Twitter feeds constantly, so managing those even while I'm at work. Shh, don't tell anyone. On YouTube, if you really could, subscribe to the channel. Okay, I'm going to actually say this for the first time. Go down there, hit the like button, subscribe, and that bell. It helps the algorithm. More people get drawn to us. I'm trying to do a positive fandom podcast on YouTube. I find a lot. I cannot watch. There's one Doctor Who podcast or video channel on YouTube that is worth its salt in a lot of ways, and that is Josh Snares at Josh Snares one, because it's just positive by being just honest. And it's not. It is. He is great documentarian, I think. I mean, astounding. I love his documentaries that he's done on the missing episodes, on what he thinks about things, and when he was talking about the Doctor Who animation money, BBC America pulling the money, what he thought. I didn't agree with some of his takes, but I thought he talked about every side and hit everything, and it's just amazing. And everybody, you should. It's Josh Snares, JOSHSNARES. Please check him out on YouTube. He's amazing. But back to my thing. But please hit that like, subscribe, and bell. It would be a big help for me and the show. So you know what, everybody. Be good, stay safe, wear your mask, and go read some comics.